minutes as Leighton locks up, runs wide, and race earlier is the hardest seventh he's ever done as Catlin. A failed manoeuvre up the inside into turn 2.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode. I'm going to split this one up, so we've got the Friday and today's Saturday. We've got 3 races up today, so race 2, 3 and 4. If you haven't seen yesterday's episode, we had practice, we had quali, we had race 1, all went pretty well. Go check that video out, but right now we have race 2, I think, yeah, race 2. Starting P10, so we'll see how we go. I'm just up here at the turn 1 of Sydney Motorsport Park. What a place. All right, race 2. I haven't really had to do anything to the car. Just put fuel in it, lube the chain, and away she goes. I did a flap adjustment to the front wing, just up 2 clicks. I think even 1 click it might have been. Just need a little bit more front end. It's just pushing a little bit, so hopefully, follow this car around turn 1 here. Hopefully she turns a bit better. I think it will. I think it'll be good. And yeah, let's do race 2. Let's do it. All right, so race, what was that? 2. Race 2 was good. We definitely found a lot of pace in that one. Hanging on to the back of a group of cars that are generally a lot faster than me. I think for that race, the only thing that other than just drive faster, I did up my tyre pressures a little bit, which just gave me some cold tyre pace, so I was able to make a move there at the start on Gardner and just had a bit of pace through even the first couple of corners. So you probably saw there was a Damo just fly around the outside of me. He was a front-running contender coming from the back of the field. So I let him go, obviously. Didn't want anything to do with Max Verstappen on turn 1, so called it a day there with him. But the rest of the race was really good. Pace was really good. I was very happy with that. So now we have 2 more races, and these are on TV. So I'm actually up here at the turn 1. Sydney Motorsport Park, quickly becoming one of my favourite tracks in the country. I think it's almost better than the Bend. It's got some character to it. It's so suited to the car. Love it. So yeah, race 3 it is, coming up now. so jumping ahead a little bit here, and I am absolutely struggling as Nico French just throws one down the inside, and I pretend like I have any chance of fighting this one. Off he goes, see you later. Basically, I was absolutely struggling at this point. Now, the grip was low, which is fine and manageable, but one of the things that just absolutely mentally threw me off the rails was the fact that I could feel, as I turned left, the steering column pressing into my knee. Now, I don't know if you know anything about steering columns, but generally they don't really deviate from their normal path at all. So you can imagine I'm thinking to myself as I turn and feel my steering column allegedly moving around, that I'm going to go straight off into a wall at turn 1 at 210 kilometers an hour. Jumping ahead again, Justin Duan has gotten ahead of me here, as I'm just absolutely in shambles at this point, thinking that there's something wrong with my car when there's not. So what actually happened was there is a zip tie that I left sort of dangling on the knee roll bar, and I used this for my front-facing GoPro, so I could sort of just slot it into that zip tie and it would hold it nicely there. But what had happened is that had sort of fallen down and was dangling between the steering uni joint and my knee panel. So as I turned left, that gap has just been made up by the zip tie and it's pressing into my knee. Now at this point, Bruno has pulled a nice one on me here, but I am confident that my brakes work, so we are going to launch that one down the outside. Yeah, mental shambles, mate. And yeah, get that one done. Luckily, as it was the last lap, so pretty good to retain a position there and cross the line in P12. Pretty not good. But yeah, just a little explanation, all the little things that can go wrong in motorsport and not actually go wrong, but still make you underperform. Well, I don't know what fucking was wrong with my car, but that felt like shit. I can feel when I do that, the column hits my knee. What the fuck is going on? Dude, I could have died. I have to look at that. That felt not good.
That's not possible. The wheel was hitting you,
The uni joint, as it turned, right there, it was moving this and it was hitting my knee, and the whole car was fucked as the drive. I think it's this way,
Oh, there's a cable tie there. There's a cable tie hooked into that nut. See that? This probably was the thing. Simple thing. Might have been.
Much of it has been dominated by Damon Sterling. Coming into this round, he won 10 of the first 12 races. However, so far this weekend, it's been all about Hayden Crosland. He's starting from position number 1 on the grid.
Time to get this race underway. What's the start going to be like? Who's going to take a nice big risk here? Will Sterling take a dive? Because Crossland's been super dominant. We see the final couple of cars come around and form up this grid. Peters at the back with McKercher. Now we're ready to go. The lights are out, and listen to those high buses. They start to get the big RPM and have a look around the outside. For a moment there, Girton might have a look in the green machine. Can he get it done? Leighton with a lot of experience there, staying down the inside. He's had a couple of podiums and they go right out on the ribble strip there, and for a moment I thought something was going to happen to Sterling and Girton, but they managed to just stay apart. And in the meantime, Crossland, well, he gets away with another great start.
Yeah, Girton really had a look. Oh, Spinner further back through the field. Can't quite see who that is. I think it's Gardner in the 25, and it is. Josh Gardner has looped it around. He's been running really well this weekend. Started this one from 6th position, but he is around on the exit of turn number 2. Carl Girton trying to take the fight here early on to Hamish Leighton, and he's going to swing one up the inside, is he? As we look further back at Dean Crook, who's not had a good weekend by his lofty standards. He says, I just can't find the setup around here at the moment. But he's in two minds because he's one of the category owners and founders, so he's got his hat on, really. I'll come back to that point in a minute as Leighton locks up, runs wide, and allows Girton the easy route through.
After his weekend that Leighton has had, has been a high for him, really. Like he said, in the early days of the Australian Drivers' Championship, he got a couple of podiums, but since then the category has grown. It's multiplied 4 times more than what it was when he was racing then. So he said to get a podium this weekend really felt like his first real podium where he earned it.
And that takes me perfectly back to my point about Dean Crook. As the category owner and sort of manager behind the series, he said, I'm really disappointed personally to be 7th, but that shows the calibre of the series that this now has. The fact that, in the early days he was the inaugural series champion, he could, almost do it one-handed and still finish on the podium. However, now he really has to fight, scrap for every position, and he described the race earlier as the hardest 7th he's ever done as Catlin. A failed manoeuvre up the inside into turn 2, sees him make contact and spin around, so he went up the inside of Bradley Smith, in a bit deep, in a bit late, made contact with the 74, but it was he that came off worse.
Just behind, and Nico French, as we go back to a replay of that moment, and Catlin just comes down the inside. Smith, there's a little bit of a crossover there, but probably didn't come up just enough on the inside for the drivers to see, and Catlin will live to fight another day, unfortunately. Oh no, car has stopped. Thought they were going to get away a little bit early there. I think they are pulling back.
That's Chris Peters at the tail of the field. Crosland leaves it pretty late and now goes on a big swerving job. The snake down pit straight to try and stop Sterling from getting a tow. Sterling's going to go the high and a wide line around the outside at turn 2, or thought about it anyway, but he doesn't want to leave himself vulnerable to Kyle Girton. A big send around the outside at the turn 2 hairpin, and now he's going to have the inside for the next corner. Up the inside into turn number 3.
And Crossland leads us out after the safety car, still with Sterling. Can't manage to get a move done at the restart of this race. Girton had a look as well. Nico French still back in 5th position with Crook right behind, so made up 1 position. Smith, well, that was the incident.
But your surname, Catlin?
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as you got your helmet off, can we have a chat?
Yeah, okay.
He's back down there. In the meantime, let's quickly head down to pit lane with Mel.
Zach Catlin having a go there at the start of the race, but unfortunately it didn't end well.
Yeah, just had a bit too much of a crack, I think, into turn 2. The slipstream down the straight is just absolutely mega in these cars, and I found myself in a pretty good spot off the start. Probably got a bit too excited, so yeah, had a crack. Had a bit too much of a crack, yeah.
Oh, you've got to have a go. Live and learn. Cheers.
Got to have a go. Cheers, thank you.
He's a great young talent. We can't wait to see how he evolves in the Australian Drivers' Championship down there either. So, unfortunately, that doesn't see him finish this race. We've got plenty more to talk about. Have a look at Nico French still.
So, as you saw, very unfortunate way to end the weekend, especially given we were showing signs of actually having some really good pace and keeping up with some much faster cars. Definitely learnt a lot. Learnt a hell of a lot and had an amazing time. Amazing to see these cars under lights on national television. So yeah, I think only good things can come from this, and going ahead, it's going to be pretty amazing rest of the season. We've got 2 more races. The next one is a short turnaround, 2 weeks. We're at Calder Park. Yeah, looking forward to making another video. Thank you all so much for watching. Cheers.